Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great night. Good morning so far. Congrats to the Jays. This is a big win. So I'm going to try to make this quick this morning. I'm still feeling super sick from last week. No idea why, but this is what it is. So let's look at the market first. And just like a few weeks ago, I'm going to start to go into that same mindset where as long as price trends above the daily structure, so no sound anymore. This is a pain. Can anyone hear? Yeah, okay, great. Thank you guys for the feedback. Sounds good. So, Pudel, I know what's working is to, yeah, let me write that. He doesn't hear. Good job, Alex. Yeah, that's what happens when you're feeling sick. You're not all there. All right, so what I was saying, yeah, in the same mindset that I was a few weeks ago. So when the market start to trend above the daily structure, when the McClellan summation start to trend above the 10-week moving average, then for me it simply tells that the trend is in place. Breadth is expanding, so I trust my position and I make my decision based on my position's action as well. So I manage my risk at the portfolio level. I make sure that my open is not going out of control. I keep my new exposure risk in check as well. But other than that, if there's chop, if there's even 1 or 2 day kind of pullback within that uptrend, I try not to overthink. And every time the market is red above a rising daily structure, not thinking that this is the end of the trend. Um, so yeah, just trusting the trend unless price or breadth shows red flags, which is not the case right now. So first thing first, let's look at the market. So Nasdaq 100 once again. So pretty constructive action yesterday. So we had that range last week, pretty choppy range, but we were building high lows at the still rising daily structure, the 21 DME structure. Yesterday was very good action, so we saw a breakout of that range. We're not into a new high yet. We're retesting the prior highs. So let's look if we need to maybe stress test a bit, kind of reject those and make another high low and maybe back test the daily structure. That would be a possible scenario within that constructive uptrend taking shape. But yeah, unless we give back this daily structure, unless we go back into range, then price wise, the trend is taking shape. We also have the McClellan summation with a pretty powerful jump yesterday. So we had a good market earlier this month. McClellan was in an uptrend above the 10 DMA. We had a bit of a pullback, sideways action in the market, but now we're right above the 10-day moving average and back with this trend. And what is interesting is yesterday with that good breadth trust, we actually had a higher reading on the McClellan oscillator than we had on this entire uptrend. So there's good strength. we'll have to see if we can follow through on that and QQQE make a new high and start that new leg higher. But yeah, so far so good. The only thing to watch today, though, is we're getting a bit extended short term. So this is the breadth extension, and let me show you something with the new home page. I'll cover that tomorrow in the TradersLab webinar, but basically what we had it is a normalization of the McClellan, both the summation and the oscillator. So you can see for NASDAQ, for example, that we're coming off a -1 standard deviation on the summation. And then on the McClellan oscillator, we're getting pretty stretched already on the oscillator at 1 standard deviation above the average. If we normalize the breadth extension, then we can see that NASDAQ is running pretty hot short term. So for all the market, we're not. So we're still below 1 standard deviation for the S&P 500, NYC, and the Russell 2000 as well. But very high strength in the NASDAQ. And at 1.5 standard deviation, we're running pretty hot short term. So like I highlighted during the April's rally and even before, it's pretty usual to have those high short-term reading, overbought reading at the start or at the end of a pullback and at the start of a new uptrend attempt. So you get this very short-term breadth being overbought. It creates the strength to confirm the trend, and then you can, a bit like April's here. So let me just refresh the page so we're in sync. So April's rally is a very good example using the McClellan. So we had a oversold reading right here at the start of that uptrend. Then we hit 1 standard deviation pretty quickly just as we came above the 10-day moving average. And then hit 2 standard deviations, so pretty extreme readings mid-trend. So when I say that we are extended, that we are overbought short term, that doesn't mean to sell everything. That doesn't mean to start trimming like crazy and bring down exposure to a very low level. It doesn't mean that the market will crash. It doesn't mean that the market will pull back 5%. It only means that maybe the breadth expansion will cool off, that participation will be a bit thinner, that we might stress test. So 1-2 day of red action, of weak action in your portfolio. But that's expected again to hit those very high readings pretty early in the trend. So don't take this as a sell signal. All right, so that goes for the market. Now let's review internals. Credit spreads, we had another lower high. Yesterday was a nice breakdown, but we still need to kind of break down of that daily structure and that recent swing low. If we can break down from that today, then that will add a lot of conviction for a new uptrend taking place. That usually happens when the market makes a new high. So let's look if we get that new high and that credit spreads breakdown, which would confirm the risk on market we're in. VIX, same type of action. So we broke down from recent swing low structure. We're right into the daily structure though, but after the VIX crush, that's what we want to see. And look if we can break that larger kind of range structure and break that daily structure as well. If we can start to trend below the daily structure, the 21 DMA structure, then that's really when we can have a sustained trend. QQQE, we covered that. And NASDAQ futures, so we ran right into that recent all-time high kind of structure, right into it. We retested that pre-market here. So don't be surprised if we go sideways a bit, if we stress test a bit, build that right side, build another high low. Uh, that would kind of cool off the very short-term breadth overbought reading that we see. So that would be constructive and within normal price action for that trend. All right, so portfolio. Nvidia still trading right inside that daily structure. We were not able to close above the daily reversal pivot yesterday. So a bit weak. I will give it a couple more days to see if we can have strength on the right side and push above that reversal pivot and above the daily structure. And again, if we close below the daily structure, then I'm out. Snow, pretty constructive action yesterday. That's what I wanted to see. Confirming the daily reversal pivot reclaim, confirming the daily structure reclaim as well. So yeah, that's a nice right side. Fail breakout, pull back into daily structure, and now trying to break out again. So that's trying to position for the potential breakout. Let's see if we have it now. Dell was a new position yesterday, closed pretty weak, but I decided to keep it because we're still in the daily structure. We're still above, not above, yeah, above Friday's low, but we're basically right into short-term support. So that's why I wanted to keep that position at least for today and see how it reacts to that retest. It reminds a bit SMCI last Friday. So we close right into support. So let's see if we can find some buyers and get back into range today. Palantir, pretty constructive chart. I had to open that yesterday, so still that cop and handle. And yesterday, good action with a retest of the 21 EMA, another high low, and close above the daily reversal pivot. So good action, but today we want to see finally a breakout from here. We'll need to push, and I covered that yesterday, but if it can push from here, that handle will definitely be kind of too tight for too long, especially with earnings coming up in 2 weeks. So yeah, it just need to push. CrowdStrike, pretty good entry yesterday of the reversal pivot. I have my 2R targets a bit higher, so if we get some strength today, I should be able to de-risk that one. But yeah, still playing that cup and handle and potential larger multi-month breakout here. SMCI still have that cup and handle look as well. So nice action yesterday. And that's what I mean with that weak close Friday and it gapped up right into range yesterday. So for me, it's the risk. I took my 2R target yesterday morning. And yeah, I'm ready to be patient with this one. Maybe it needs to backfill, fill that gap, maybe build another higher low on the right side. But yeah, it's the risk, so nothing to do. I will hold that unless the daily structure is broken. AMD trying to make a new high, very strong stock. VRT just flagging, earnings coming up next week. Micron, kind of a spinning top here, but not trying to anticipate or call the top. My game here is really to trail the daily structure. MP, I added back my small runner. I think it looks very good for a base breakout and retest setup right at the 21 DMA structure. So you can look for the daily reversal pivot recline for an entry. It's in the focus list for sure. Yeah, let me finish with Oklo and then I will talk about SMR. So Oklo, um, so still in pullback. I will look at this one for a potential had. Uh, I want to see retest that 21 DMA structure. I want to see retest that base structure, and that would be a nice had spot. I'm not in a hurry. I want it to come to me inside structure, not being extended anymore. And yeah, that will be a nice setup if it can tighten up in that area. Focus list. What did I have? So yeah, CRDO still there. So CRDO was in focus list for kind of a back test of that area. Now it's showing a lot of strength. So we have a 21 DMA structure reclaim. We have kind of that structure breakout as well. So what I'm looking next, I won't buy that thing on strength as it run up for a few days. I want to grab this thing on weakness as it retests, maybe gap fill, Friday's high pivot, or that downtrend line as well. So if we can retest that area, that would be with the 21 EMA as well, same area. So that would be a good spot to initiate CRDO on weakness. Then Dell, so Dell is still in focus list if you see a reclaim of that daily reversal pivot. MP we discussed, and yeah, PLTR is still in play. So look for maybe some weakness and reclaim of that reversal pivot. That would be a pretty nice entry, low risk entry. And this not anymore. So Dell, Palantir, MP, and CRDO. All right, so game plan for me. I discussed that last night. But for me, the trend is taking place. So QQQE above the rising 21 DMA structure, trying to make a new high. McClellan summation is trending up above daily 10 DMA. So I have my exposure. So yesterday I went away and opened Dell, Palantir, and CrowdStrike. Was able to de-risk SMCI. So my game plan here is really to chill, to see how it goes from here. I have my new exposure risk. I don't plan to add anything else today. And my game plan from here is simply to reduce my exposure as I take my trims in my new exposure. And yeah, just go from here, not trying to put too much risk, especially with the short-term bread being overbought. So that's the game plan for me. That's why I have my Patient Panda t-shirt. I'm really going back into that panda mindset where I want to be patient and just ride that trend with the exposure that I have and slowly reduce it and lock profits into strength. All right, so questions SMR. So yeah, I discussed SMR a couple times already. Know your group, know your teams. Uh, it's in the same group as Oklo, and Oklo is the leader. It's extended. It needs time to breathe and just pull back and digest the run it had in a very normal way. That's very normal. Um, and then you have SMR, which is the lagging name of this group. Uh, and that's what happens when the lagging names uh, trying to break out. It does not follow through. And when the leader is pulling back, just digesting constructively the recent run it had, then the lagging name is just crashing down because there's no institution interest and buying pressure to support that stock as much as the leader has. So that's why I always like to be in the leader, a few leaders. In this group, there's not a lot of leaders, uh, but that's why I like to be in the leaders anyway. Good morning, Alex. Yesterday you reopened MP. Can you add the details of your entry prices? Yeah, everything is in the portfolio. There's nothing new there. Look at my portfolio update. Everything is there. And even more, look at my system, the Gitbook. Everything is there as well. My stop loss is always at the same place, at the low of the daily structure, the low of the 21 DME structure. That's my stop. So basically, I open that position right here. I de-risked, I trimmed into strength, and then I closed that position around the low of that day, last Thursday. Anyway, I don't remember. But yesterday was just to reopen that runner, same size, same price. So I was a few cents away of the price that I closed it. So when that happens, I just reopen that runner, same entry journal, um, and just act as I didn't close that. So that's the way I just sometimes trade around the core. I manage my risk by closing it, and if I recognize that the action is healthy, market wise and stock wise, then I just put back that runner, and then just continue to trade it like I would have been if I didn't close it initially. RBLX Roblox. Yeah, that's a nice chart. It's not in my scan probably because earnings are too close. But yeah, it begins to be a nice base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So 12, 13 weeks. Now we have what I like to see, right? So high lows in that base. We have the 21 DMA structure reclaim and back tests. We also retest that recent swing high. So yeah, setup definitely there. Just know that this is quite choppy, so we're still in that base. Choppy action, so don't be mad if it doesn't work. Low win rate might be lower. And like I said, earnings are pretty close, so if the market is good and it breaks out, then you have time to play the earnings. Otherwise, you might not have the cushion to go test it. So Hood, Robin Hood, yeah. It's still a leader. It's still in my focus list, but I want to see more. Uh, so we have daily structure breakdown. What we have right now is a rally into declining daily structure. And as always, what I want to see is how it will react from here. High or low structure on a rejection. That would set up the pullback and the basing structure pretty well. Or we just continue higher from here and we get a back test to play this thing on weakness. So yeah, that's the play for me. Yeah, we discussed that last week, I think, right? Yeah, so I was looking at maybe a higher low. So that's pretty much what we had. A retest of the downtrend line, a retest of the daily structure. So now you have a pretty low risk entry on that reversal pivot. Tried to break out yesterday, failed. So now maybe look for some weakness on the right side and a reclaim of that reversal pivot. That would be a nice entry, low risk entry inside that pullback structure. Wayfair. Yeah, another one that I think needs more time to kind of digest. So we're right into kind of stage one structure. And yeah, that was a pretty impressive run from the lows. So yeah, maybe if the market is strong, you have something there. So you have a 21 DMA structure breakdown, then rally into declining structure. Look how it will act here. So do we have a tight range into structure and breakout, which would be the entry signal, or it needs to reject, build some kind of high lows, and then you can re-engage on the right side. Have a good day, David. All right, so Vic is asking, I know normally we try not to anticipate on news, but do you think with MP, if no position, you need to factor the US China? Yeah, there's definitely that in picture, but I talked a bit about it yesterday, and that's purely kind of my idea about it and my opinion. So I don't like to trade off my opinions, but that kind of helped me kind of remove the backdrop, if I would say so. If I was a business owner or a country owner, um, and you just discovered how at risk you are with those rare heart, not that they didn't know, right? So they probably knew, but uh, when you get that China news that they will cut off all rare earth, and then you don't have the minerals needed for all the electronics, all your defense as well, which is kind of a big deal. Um, you just realize how at risk you are, and even if you start to be buddy buddy with China, will you just leave that to be at risk, or will you take action that if something is going wrong in the negotiation again and China want to go for that rare hard card again, then you will be prepared. You're not putting you in the same risk that you are. So you want to remove that risk, right? That supply chain risk. Uh, so I don't know exactly, but I think that they will still try to develop that U.S. production of rare earth, and try to minimize that risk. That's what I would do personally. Um, if you realize that in your business you are at risk in a certain area, then it makes sense to remove that risk and manage it. Yeah, Tim, I don't know. Like I said, the setup is there, the name is leading. If you try to find a news for everything, every stock, so every setup, you will not trade. So MP is there, is leading. There's buyers. The setup is there. Like I said, I don't try to um, overthink anything. I'm not a macro expert. I'm not a rare heart expert. Far from it. What I'm seeing is I don't think that because that U.S. and China negotiation and relation is getting a bit better in the last few days, that the rare herd play outside of China is dead. That's all I'm saying. Um, and like I said, I'm not an expert. So Vic, yeah, if yeah, that's a good point. If you don't have much exposure, there's definitely lower risk setups, of course. Go for a Dell, a Palantir. CRDO is not ready. Wait for Robinhood. The thing is, you don't want to overcome it right now as well. I was nearly 80% exposed with my runners, with my cars. I raised a bit of exposure in the last 3 days. But now the very short-term breadth is overbought. So that's not when you open big exposure as well. So keep that in mind. You can test the market. You can grab some things on weakness, but just be careful by overcommitting when the short-term breadth is overbought. So yeah, good point. There's definitely lower risk setups than MP. That's the kind. I know in the last few days there was a lot of stock um, chart requests, and very often I was a bit defensive because of the large run they had and kind of the climatic action that followed. And a lot of stocks requests were right either on the first pullback or kind of the second pullback. And you hear me say a lot of, I think it needs more time, especially after kind of a hard run and climatic move. And that's exactly kind of the digestion and basing action that I want to see after a climatic move, is to see multiple weeks and months of sideway action, of basing. Then you have that kind of base area with that shakeout right here. You have that undercut and rally kind of attempt with that daily structure reclaim attempt. That back test, which creates a higher low and retest of that base structure. So ideal entry was definitely kind of that in that daily reversal area, which we never retested. Um, but yeah, it's shaping well. Uh, like I said, digested the climatic move and big uptrend very nicely. So that's a name that I would be more comfortable buying the right side instead of in that area. I always have time, my friend. Um, so just keep in mind we are in a big structure retest from 2021 high. That being said, this thing is not liquid at all, right? Yeah, okay. Just looking at the chart, you see it right away. That's the kind of low liquid stuff that can do these low liquid pullback sideway action and right away kind of pop out of nowhere. For me, it's too illiquid. There's like not even half a million average volume. Um, Market cap is good, but yeah, liquidity is very low on that thing, especially considering the share price. So we have what, 350,000 shares. Yeah, 100 million daily. So not that bad. But you see the lack of trading volume on that chart, and that's what I don't like. Um, you have large swings. Um, it breaks down like, so I don't know if there was a news, but it breaks down 16%. Um, yeah, I 10% with the market the other Friday. So that's not the stuff that I like to trade. It kind of looks all over the place to me, probably due to that low liquidity, which you don't have institution underneath supporting the stock when the market is bad, when there's not enough buyers. Selling pressure come quickly, and they cannot support the stock. And that's what I don't like, and that's why I trade more liquid stuff. But if you just want me to talk about the setup, we have a base breakout. Like I said, we are in a pretty big structure retest from 2021. So that's pretty constructive to see it build a right handle, building pressure for a potential breakout. So you have your reversal pivot right here with a potential shakeout and undercut and rally setup. So if we retest that pivot right here, that could be a low risk entry to test that breakout. So there's definitely a setup, but just keep in mind the low liquidity of that one. And if the market would stress test, that's the kind of name that really take a punch on the chin pretty quickly. All right, guys. So 9:27. So I hope you'll have a good day, good trading. So if there's any questions, again, I will be in the trading pit. Otherwise, I might be pretty quiet today. Like I said, back in panda mode for me. I have my exposure. The market seems to confirm, so maybe we need that new high to really confirm it. But so far, price and breadth is aligned. So I want to trust my positions, trust my spots and my setups, and we'll see where it goes from here. So have a good day, everyone. Thanks, my friend. Yeah, I'll try to get some sleep today.